I've noticed like a lot of dates that I've been going on have like, ultimately lead up to sex, but I want that relationship.
How many dates until you get to a point where you're having sex?
It is more the first date. I mean, granted, I am dating older men, like in their 30s and like above.
Oh, really?
'Cause I'm only 20.
What do you think it would feel like to just go into a first date, just experimenting and say, okay, this time I'm just not going to go home with somebody?
I think to me, like for the older man, I think, oh, like this kid's not interested then.
You have a condition that therapists refer to as Jimmy Fowley syndrome. You're prioritizing their comfort, like, oh, well, they won't be comfortable if I don't. So I do that too, where I put other people's needs first, and it's like a kind of like a weird people-pleasing thing.
But when we're putting so much power to the other person that we are defining success of a date based on if the other person likes us, that can be really problematic, because that's not going to be the way that we can find true compatibility with somebody. We have to really check in with ourselves first and know what our needs are first. And if that's to maybe not have sex on the first date because we actually want to get to know somebody and see if there can be a little bit more of a real romance there, then that's what it is, and that's your need, and you really, want to honor that. And that can be scary to do, but the more that you're able to do it, the more that you're, kind of strengthening your ability to do that.
And then I also had another question. Like I've been trying to date younger men, but I can't seem to find myself.
Why do you feel the need to date younger men?
Well, I don't know. Just I think more of like homogeneity, just like similar, just to go through similar things that older people have already gone through, maybe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if I date an older person, they can maybe help me through that.
Totally. This is also, I don't want you to ever feel alone in this, because this is really common. This is really normal. And I think especially in the gay community, it's really typical for a lot of us to want to date older because we don't have the same experience that a lot of straight people do, where we have parents who are straight and can help guide us and show us what it means to be straight and how you date and how you connect and what romance is and all of that. So we didn't have that kind of guidance growing up, so that can really translate itself into the kind of romance that we find ourselves interested in and desiring when we're in the gay community, and so we kind of look for almost like a little bit of like a mentor. I think that's fine, Sam. I don't think that you need to beat yourself up or try to say, oh, I should be dating somebody my own age because that's the quote-unquote right thing to do. If you're finding yourself attracted to somebody who's maybe 10 or 15 or even more years older than you, and that's your thing, and you both are two consenting adults and you're into it, why not? Go for it. There's obviously something there. If we find ourselves attracted to something, that generally means that there's some psychological and emotional opportunity for us to grow in some way, for us to learn something new about ourselves. So I say go for it. And perhaps maybe the opportunity that you can learn is how you can be with somebody who's older than you and still speak up about what your needs are, and let that be the thing that strengthens you.
I dated this guy, and he was the nicest guy, but he was like 7 years older than me. I dated him when I was like 22, 23, and he was like my dad. Like I would come home from work exhausted and just like pass out at his place, and he would like cook dinner, and it was like, it was, I totally get that. Just you feel like a little bit more taken care of, And
my friends give me shit about it just because that older person may not be able to hang out with them, or with us.
Well, your friends kind of sound like bitches.
No.
Just kidding.